Basic scenario is they had watched the Chiefs game in a couple of different places. They went back to his place, his home afterwards, to play some video games and hang out. And at some point during that process, he got tired and he fell asleep.
So this story is just getting weirder and weirder and weirder. And I make a video on this story almost every day because there's always some kind of contradicting information that seems to come out. The main narrative that came out about this story were three men. They were fans of the Kansas City Chiefs. Because they were fans of the Kansas City Chiefs, they go over their friend's house, Jordan Willis. These three men are Clayton McGeeney, Ricky Johnson, and David Harrington. Well, like I said, because they were fans of the Kansas City Chiefs, they go over Jordan Willis's house to watch the game. That is the main narrative that has come out for weeks. Many people, even in my own comment section, found it weird that many news agencies kept referring them as the Kansas City Chiefs fans, three Kansas City Chiefs fans. I even made a statement that I don't want to refer them as three Kansas City Chiefs fans anymore, but that's all we were hearing from news and media, to the point that there is one theory going around that this was some kind of ritual sacrifice for the Kansas City Chiefs right before the Super Bowl. Some people will say that that theory is absolute Cocoa Puffs, but I always say we are living through the times of 2023 and 2024. Weirder things have happened. Do not take anything off the table just yet, just because they sound crazy. Well, come to find out, according to attorney John Picerno, who is Jordan Willis's mouthpiece, who is his lawyer, they didn't go over there to watch the game at all. What? What? That is all we've been hearing in the news and media. That these men, these three men, went over to Jordan Willis's house to watch the Kansas City Chiefs play, and this is why they are known as the three Kansas City Chiefs fans. Now, I have been following this story on other channels as well. I've been watching other YouTubers talk about it. I mainly don't watch other YouTubers because I really don't have the time. I'm constantly making videos. People who do watch my videos and they say to me, "Mints of Horror, can you watch my videos?" I'll gladly go ahead and give you that same respect. I'll go ahead and engage in your channel. But when it comes to just watching other big YouTubers and, constantly keeping updated with their videos, I just don't have the time. But when it comes to this particular story here, I have been following along with other YouTubers because it's just so interesting, everything that's been coming out and all the contradictory information. I'll read those YouTubers' comments and you'll have people saying, "Can you move on? Can you stop talking about it? You're talking about this a lot." And I'm thinking to myself, no, why should that YouTuber move on? We have, and I do believe quite possibly, one of the most interesting cases here in quite some time. We have a very big mystery. With this new information coming out, John Picerno, the lawyer, it seems like they're now trying to brush away from the fact that they were there for the football game, when that's all we've ever heard. Very, very weird. Then there is video footage where Jordan Willis was in handcuffs. I don't know what they found or what they were doing to actually put him in handcuffs, but almost instantly, they take him out of the handcuffs. They take him out of the police car. So what did they find to instantly let Jordan Willis go? And they found something that was not incriminating to Jordan Willis, then why are they not sharing this with the family? Now, of course, this is only me speculating here because there are no cold hard facts. Of course there's not, because of so much conflicting information that's going on. Now these men went from watching a football game together to just playing video games after they were finished watching football at other people's houses. But it almost makes me feel like Jordan Willis has friends or knows people in the upper echelon of this police department. Because I can see if this was a criminal case, I always reference the Idaho 4, another bizarre case. But generally in a criminal case where there is a homicide, the families, unfortunately, they don't get to know much. But this is not a homicide case. Police are not seeking this as some type of criminal activity. So if you found something to let Jordan Willis go, why not share it with the family? Even interviews conducted by News Nation, I posted an interview in my most recent video about this story, where News Nation interviewed a neighbor, and people were saying how this interview felt a little weird. It was like they were in front of a green screen, and how the neighbor's acting was really bad.
Cold. It was really cold. I'd gone hunting that Sunday, and we hunted a pond, and we actually had to put pretty much an ice prop in there to make the pond open. So I mean, if that tells you anything, we could walk on the ice. That's how thick it was. So I mean, it was definitely below freezing, and not temperatures you want to just be outside hanging out in with no clothes.
Yeah, enough to raise red flags. Ashton, thank you very much for.
People were also saying how the neighbor was wearing a Kansas City Chiefs hat, once again to call out the Kansas City Chiefs. But I do want to make clarification, the hat he's wearing is not a Kansas City Chiefs hat. It's the baseball team, the Kansas City Royals. That's what he's wearing. But I can't help but also feel that this interview feels off, like you're watching some kind of sitcom or a movie where one of the characters is being interviewed by the news. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm looking too far into it. I don't know. But I just feel like this interview adds to the bizarreness of this case. Why I also feel like Jordan may have a friend or know somebody in a higher place in this police department is because they also left all the evidence with Jordan. After police let Jordan go, the police never took the 3 friends that were found deceased in this backyard. They never took their jackets. They never took their cell phones. They didn't take any of the evidence with them. They left it all with Jordan. What I'm going to go ahead and do is play this new interview between News Nation and the parents, and then I'm going to go ahead and give my take at the end of this interview.
Parents of one of the men who died at that house, Ricky Johnson. Let's bring in Ricky Johnson's father, Ricky Johnson Sr., and Linda Johnson, Ricky Johnson's stepmom. Mr. Johnson, thank you for joining us again. And Linda, thank you for making the time to do this. How are you two doing? How are you doing, Linda?
We're doing okay.
We're hanging in there as we can.
Good, thank you. Linda, you and I were talking earlier today about what doesn't make sense to you here. First, what have you learned that is not public information for the rest of us?
Well, I had received some personal belongings from Ricky, my son. They were left in the house, in Jordan's house. And he took them over to a friend's house for us to grab them.
So the police didn't have them, and it makes you ask questions about how thorough the investigation was, correct?
Right. They were left in Jordan's house, yes, and the police did not grab them.
And what does that mean to you?
It just means that they weren't thoroughly looking everything over in the house. They weren't looking at it as a crime scene.
Now, the good piece of news that I want to let people know, so it's not just all negativity here in terms of getting you some answers. Tomorrow you have a big meeting. Who's it with and what does it mean to you?
Officials at the Platte County the prosecuting attorney of Platte County.
But that's a different police department. Right, Ricky, but that's a different police department than the one that was initially investigating the case. Why the switch? What do you know about it?
We know nothing.
I probably think that my attorney has stepped in and said some things to try to help them investigate it, so they have moved it to Platte County, my understanding.
And Platte County is the local police, so maybe at least you'll start to get some information about what's happened.
So the local level police are now getting involved in a state level investigation. The state police were the ones that were called out there, the Kansas City Police Department. But now we have the local police department getting involved. Make that make sense. Local level police always stay within their level. They always stay within their jurisdiction. So this really doesn't make much sense unless I'm 100% wrong. I will always bite the bullet when somebody tells me I'm wrong, and I'll say, okay, I'm wrong. But I've never heard of this before. Now, the father did say, well, my lawyer got involved, so the only thing I'm thinking is that the parents believe there is some kind of corruption with the Kansas City police, and now they're getting their lawyer to get another police department involved. But I would think that police department is saying, well, there's already an ongoing investigation with the Kansas City police. Let them finish out their investigation. Makes absolutely no sense. This is starting to make me feel we have something bigger going on here than just 3 men, they OD'd and they passed away in their friend's backyard from the cold. If these 3 men took a narcotic, they OD'd, and they froze in the backyard because they OD'd in the backyard, then that's one thing. People OD every day. It's not something that's rare. It's not something that's shocking. It happens every day. But what is with all the conflicting information, all the secrecy, all the bizarreness behind this case? We have this 5th friend even state that he was there the whole time. He was watching the game was over, and he left at 12 p.m. They were still sitting there on the couch watching Jeopardy. Never once mentioning anything about video games or coming over for video games or watching this game at other places. I'm going to say right now, and I have made a lot of accurate predictions on this story. I made a lot of videos about airplanes, and then when planes started to collide into each other, when planes started to have their doors missing and bolts not being properly put in the wings, people are then saying, Mental Horror, you were right. Something's definitely going on with the sky. Something's definitely going on with planes. So I'm going to say right now that I do feel that something more is happening here. There's going to be some shocking information to come out, and it's not going to have anything to do with narcotics. Or if it does have something to do with narcotics, it's not going to be in the way that we think. In any case, thank you so much for watching. If you like this channel and you want to see more, please subscribe. If you're already subscribed, please like, as any engagement does help the channel grow. Once again, thank you so much for your support.